What I say is what I say.
When do we beat Mexico at the border? They are not our friend. They're laughing at us.
I don't think they like me very much.
The world stands on the brink of major change, and the trends are worrying. After Donald Trump's second term, the landscape of global politics and economics is shifting in alarming ways. Here's how America's decline, combined with rising tensions worldwide, could lead to an era of instability and anarchy, financial burdens and national debt. The new reality is, U.S. economy is struggling with a massive gross national debt, which has soared to $36 trillion. This debt is increasing by an alarming $1 trillion annually, putting significant strain on America's economic landscape. Both major parties, Democrats and Republicans, have shown a lack of discipline when it comes to managing this debt, which may mirror the decline seen in past empires like Rome and Habsburg Austria. Without profound policy changes, the financial burdens may continue to deepen, raising concerns about the U.S.'s ability to maintain a stable global order. Polarization and national division. The latest election exposed deep ideological and cultural divides. The urban elite thrive under globalization, while rural and working-class Americans feel left behind. The country is now split between a liberal, cosmopolitan upper class and those struggling to compete in the new economy. This widening gap weakens national unity and fuels political extremism, making compromise and governance increasingly difficult, a pattern seen in declining democracies throughout history. Weakened institutional capacity. Trump's second term could further erode key U.S. institutions. His previous presidency relied on experienced officials, but now, many critical roles may go unfilled or be occupied by underqualified figures. This could cripple foreign policy and governance, reducing America's ability to handle complex global issues. As bureaucratic expertise declines, U.S. leadership in global affairs may weaken, making way for unstable power shifts in world politics. Technology and political extremism. Social media has transformed political discourse, favoring anger and division over reasoned debate. The digital age amplifies polarization, pushing politics further to the extremes. Trump's rise has been fueled by this landscape, where viral content and emotional outbursts dominate the conversation. The destruction of political moderation has serious consequences, as it weakens democratic institutions and makes bipartisan governance nearly impossible. America's geopolitical advantage. Despite domestic challenges, America's geography remains a key strength. With oceans on both sides and no major rivals on its borders, the U.S. is more secure than other great powers. Additionally, vast natural resources from oil to farmland keep it economically resilient. While political turmoil may weaken America internally, global competitors like China and Russia face even greater structural challenges, preventing a smooth transfer of global dominance. Today we have Colin, our media manager. He will tell us that, in Donald Trump's second term, how the landscape of global politics and economics is shifting in alarming ways.
So having looked at President Trump's second term in office, one of the first thing I want to say is, as a Christian minister, I feel it's my responsibility to pray for those in authority and in leadership. And President Trump has my prayers. That doesn't mean that I necessarily agree with everything that he says and does. And I have some concerns actually from things I've heard recently, especially with regard to economic policy and foreign policy. In terms of economic policy, one of my concerns is the fact that he keeps slapping tariffs on all the other countries with which he deals. I mean, especially his nearest neighbour, Canada. And obviously, Justin Trudeau wasn't very happy with that either, and the Canadian people as a whole. So I'm concerned as to how that's going to pan out as we start looking at the wider world and other nations with which the US trades. Is he going to slap tariffs on everybody? And are people then going to slap tariffs on the US in return? And how is that going to affect the worldwide economic situation? So that's a serious concern. Another serious concern is in foreign policy. I've been deeply disturbed by some of his more outlandish statements about annexing Greenland and other parts of the world. What Denmark have to say about him annexing Greenland, I'd like to know, as it's their territory. And also Mexico and different places. And I'm also concerned with regard to the situation in Ukraine. I mean, I want to see peace in Ukraine like everybody else does. What I don't want to see is an appeasement of President Putin's aggressive policy of attacking other countries. And it would bother me that that might be the case. So I think there are some things that are of serious concern in this, and we'll have to look, see how things pan out over the next few years with the 4-year presidency that Trump will have. So those are my thoughts on the current situation, which obviously I'm giving a lot of prayer and consideration to. Well, with regard to the Indian subcontinent, especially India and Bangladesh, I have close relationships with both countries, and obviously they're often in my thoughts and prayers, and I want to see both countries prosper and do well. And I hope that President Trump will deal sensitively with them. I hope they'll be aware of the internal issues within those countries and will deal accordingly. One thing, having grown up in Northern Ireland in a conflict situation, one thing that really annoys me is when people from outside try to fix the problem without actually understanding what the problem is. And I hope the US foreign policy team will look carefully at both Bangladesh and India, and then deal accordingly with that and deal sensitively with it. And we recognise, of course, that India is also a world power in itself, and that is also got to be taken into consideration. So I'll be very interested to see actually what the US's relationship is going to be with India and Bangladesh in the next few years.
Conclusion: the world is not just witnessing America's decline, but the slow weakening of all great powers. With global tensions rising, the future looks increasingly unstable. If the US cannot adapt to these changes, the international system may face a period of chaos and unpredictability.
Please make sure to subscribe our channel to get the essential whatsOn and connect with us at whatsOn.plus.